I've had conversations with friends over the last few years, and we are often talking about how confusing food has gotten. You used to know exactly the right thing to eat, or it didn't really matter. You just enjoyed what you ate. Coffee used to have a bad rap. Now, coffee can be protective and good for you, depending on what you read. Butter used to be good, then it was bad, now it's good again. I have bunches of recipes from my mom that had to use a stick of oleo. Well, not doing that. Eggs, the cholesterol game and what's going on with eggs are good for you or bad for you. Animal fats, seed oils, which ones are the best for your body, for your health, to keep your health. Sugar, well, that's always had a bad rep, but sure can make some good treats with that. So if you ever felt like you've been misled in any of these categories, you owe it to yourself to do some of your own research. Eating right has just gotten really confusing. I've been looking lately at vegan and keto and carnivore, and some things just weren't adding up to be able to eat healthy. And the first thing that has helped me sift through all these contradictions and for me to start to make sense of things was when I discovered oxalates. So, what are oxalates? They're in plants, plants create them. They create them to serve their needs. It's like little itty bitty crystals in the plants. These little shards of crystals, they're very sharp, very irritating. And when we eat them, our body says, okay, we're getting more of these shards and crystals. Let's tuck them away somewhere to protect ourselves. And it'll tuck it away pretty much anywhere. And that's what makes it so hard to figure out oxalate poisoning because every case is very, very unique. There's inflammation with anything with joint problems, connective tissue problems, osteoporosis, you have weak bones or weak teeth, nerve inflammation, dysfunction, neuropathies, motor nerve problems, even cognitive or mood issues, sensitivities and allergies. The obvious one is kidney stones, but kidney health is very much affected with oxalate poisoning. Skin problems. One of our biggest detox pathways is the skin. If you've been having boils or rashes or hard lumps that you really can't explain, really look at oxalates. Digestive tract damage. You have all those sharp shards coming through. So if you have any intestinal issues, be sure to look at oxalates. Urinary tract problems too. Pelvic floor, sphincters, any pain or discomfort there at all, be sure to look at that. Mineral deficiencies too. The oxalates bind with your minerals, then they're not available for you to use for your chemical reactions that are going on. It's incredibly hard to see and diagnose because it's so varied. So the best thing you can do is just look at your diet, look at your symptoms, look at your different inflammations, and then just try reducing your oxalates and see what happens. You'll want to start with the foods highest in oxalate first, so cut them out of your diet and then slowly decrease with the rest. And if you cut out those very high oxalate foods, you're most likely going to see a difference within a couple weeks. Foods high in oxalates are spinach, sweet potato, Swiss chard, almonds. That's a tough one because many people have gone to almond milk and almond butters and almond flour. It's in so many things. And beets, chocolate, dark chocolate's higher, kiwi, beans, grains, little seeds like chia, poppy, sesame, even potatoes. They aren't little seeds, but I should have put that earlier. Foods low in oxalates are avocado, the cabbages, cauliflower, cilantro, cucumber, garlic, lettuces, arugula, mushrooms, onions, red bell pepper, not the other colors, green peas, winter squashes, turnips, the foods like that. And there are lists you can find. So get informed, do your own research, trust your instincts, trust you. And who I trust, who I've been binge watching lately on YouTube, is Sally K. Norton. She's a nutritionist trained at Cornell, and she also went to Chapel Hill for another degree. And she had always eaten super healthy, even as a kid, healthy. And she was in pain since she was 12. And now it took her till her 50s to figure it out. And now she's been pain-free and living well. She had many things to figure out, and she was the experiment. So she has a lot of cred with what she's talking about. She has a great book out, Toxic Superfoods. She's been a guest on many different YouTube channels, and her website is sallyknorton.com. And with food being so confusing, I have a botany background, so I kind of get all the chemicals and the plant consciousness. You know, every living thing has some sort of consciousness, and there's a real communication in the plant kingdom. So they have shown that there are changes in frequencies on the plants. If they have a predator coming at them, they'll spread the word and let everybody know. So if you have insects flying in, they'll change their chemical structure on the surface of something to make things irritating. So I know that they definitely have the skills to mess with the people that are threatening them. And with vegan, there's ways to switch to low oxalate foods. With keto, you know, if that's not working, if you still have inflammation and you thought you're doing the right things with the fats and the vegetables, well, look at the spinach smoothies. You know, how many of those are you having? Because those can be serious problem with kidney and kidney stones, that sort of thing. And carnivore, a lot of people treat that like an elimination diet, just to settle things down and start dumping the oxalates. And you do want to be careful with how fast you dump. I had a few issues. I didn't know about the oxalate dumping, and I got some pretty nasty heartburn, and it took me a little bit more researching to figure out what that was. And I would have a cup of green tea because green tea is high in oxalates, and that would tell my body, wait a minute, she's not as smart as we thought she was. She's having more oxalates. We better slow down in this dumping thing and get back into protection mode. Start researching. Every video I watched, I learned something new. I got a new puzzle piece. So join me on my journey to relook at everything we've been taught with a beginner's mind. Question everything. Figure out what makes sense for you to care for your body, mind, spirit.